Hello everyone. So today I'm going to show you this interesting game. I played this in Charlotte Chess Center. This will be my first game on this new channel, so I hope you guys will like it. Let's directly jump into the game. So I started with d4, g6, knight f3, knight bishop g7, this, knight out, and bishop here. So this is a classic London system setup. I always prefer this one. I played lots and lots of game on this, and here basically you make this mountain chain of pawns. This bishop is simply not doing much for now because of this strong pawn chain, and here black just tries to play safe, just castle and protect the king, and let's see how it goes. Castle. So here I could have, instead of playing h4, I could have just simply played e3 to complete my London setup. But I knew my opponent was little bit lower rated than me, and I wanted to attack so that he somehow makes a mistake and somehow I can capitalize. So I started with h4, and if he doesn't like play h5, let's say he plays knight somewhere here, then my plan was to push this pawn. If he takes, then I can take, sacrifice my rook, because then I can develop some attack. Once this pawn pushes, this pawn will be weak, and I can somehow create an attack on this king. But of course my opponent played h5, blocking this pawn. So I just developed my knight to d2, pawn, e3, pawn here. Now here you might think that I can simply capture this pawn, but that defeats the purpose of my London system. I mean, it's not a bad move, but I don't want that because this pawn is weak and it can be captured later in the game. And also I can't support my pawn with, like, let's say he does this. If I do this, then this pawn is weak, and now once this knight moves somewhere, this bishop can attack here, and this whole strong solid structure is gone. So I didn't want that. That's why I didn't capture here, and I simply played bishop e2, just developing my piece, waiting for this attack to somehow play for itself, because I want to somehow move this knight, push these pawns to create this attack here, and let's see how it goes. Pawn takes, pawn takes. Now here also I don't usually capture with this, because then again this line can be open up once this pawn moves. So I simply want my queen side, this structure, to stay solid, and then try to attack on this king side. So I captured with e pawn, knight out. So now here the best thing that I like about London is this knight. When it develops here, it's doing nothing much, because these all important squares are covered by my pawns, and these pawn chain is also helping me block this bishop and also helping me block this knight. So these two pieces are not doing much for now. Knight here. Now here I put my knight here because I somehow want to push these pawns and create an attack here. Now he can't take here. Actually he can. It's not a like a bad move, but if he takes, then I can simply take, and I can maybe like exchange this bishop once this knight moves and start doing this attack. So he didn't take, and he just simply put rook to e8. Now here I push this pawn. At that time I missed that like it's a bad move, because he has, like, see, this pawn is protecting this square, this knight is protecting, and this bishop. So he has three pieces protecting this. I thought my knight is also protecting this square, but he can first take this knight to remove the defense of this knight to this square, and I missed that, and I just lost a pawn here actually. So knight takes, bishop takes, knight takes, and this pawn is gone for nothing. So I was worse, obviously, as you can see by evaluation. It's minus 1.2 for me. So he's doing great. Now I don't want to put this bishop back somewhere, because in King's Indian structure, when my opponent has this strong bishop here, it's better to exchange this, because this bishop is too strong and it's protecting the king in future. So that's why I here exchange first the bishop, takes. Now I was thinking about whether I should capture this knight or not, because my bishop is also good, but I thought the knight is too strong here, and lucky thing is the queen is not developed yet. So there is no immediate attack on my king, but once this queen comes into the picture, this knight and queen combination can be really deadly. So I didn't want that. That's why I exchanged this knight. Bishop takes, and now here interesting thing is, the best move is f3, which I played in the game. Why? Because my king is not castled yet, and this bishop is attacking this queen. Let's say I move my queen somewhere, then the queen comes into the picture. Let's say queen d3, and I'm still not castled yet, and these two pieces are very strong here. Even like if I castle here, I can't actually, because this bishop is doing this pin. So that's why I thought let's play f3. Why? Because this gives me a tempo. What is a tempo move? Tempo move is like now he has to first move this bishop, and then somehow I can play a move and try to castle the king. So that's why like I played this move, and bishop back. Now I played queen e2 here, which was I think a good move, because I am threatening to castle here, even though I don't want to castle here because this bishop is too strong here. And once this queen comes into the picture, it will be a really strong attack from his side. Queen here. So now what he's doing with this queen move, he is basically threatening this check here. So if I don't do anything, he will give me a check here, which I don't want. So I was thinking here, actually here the best move was queen e5, giving a check. He has to take, and this pawn is good here, even though it's not the best pawn. But for now my king is safe. There is no queen threatening against my king, and I don't need to castle now. I can simply just put my king somewhere and try to connect my rooks. But I didn't play this move. Instead I played this move. I thought I'm protecting this square with this knight move, and later I can maybe castle. Then came a huge shocker to me, that was e5. It was the best move in this position. It was the only move which gave a good decent advantage to black. Why? Because now I can't simply take this pawn. If I take this pawn, he'll simply take with the rook, and my king and queen is trapped, and my queen is gone. And so is the game. So here I had to find a move. So I found the best move here, which was king f2. Why? Because this pawn is anyway gone for now, but I just got rid of this pin. I moved my king. So here I couldn't castle also. Why? Because now this queen can come here, and usually in such case when you castle queen side, king usually moves this away to protect this pawn against this attack on my pawn. But now I can't even push this pawn, because this bishop is lying here, and I can't do that. So that's why king f2 was best here. He takes, obviously he's got a pawn. I have to move my queen. So now here I thought maybe he'll just do this, and I can simply do this, and still I am weak. My pawns, I have like 4 different pawn chains. He's still much better, but still somehow I'll try to fight. But when he pushed this pawn e2, d3, I mean, it was a huge shocker to me, because again he's threatening this thing. The rook can come here, again threatening my king and queen, and the queen is super active here, and I don't know what to do here. So I was thinking and thinking, and then I found the best move, knight to e3. I think this was the only move which gives me a chance to fight, even though I'm still worse, but it's still a good move, because first of all this blocks this important line of the rook, and also I'm threatening this bishop. And the important thing is I am threatening this bishop with a check. So when I take this bishop, it will be a check, so he has to move his king somewhere, so that gives me an extra move. After that he played this move, queen d7, so that when I capture this, he can put it with the queen, and queen comes to a better square to attack my king. Now his whole game revolves around this pawn. That's why this knight move was even important, because it not only captures this bishop, it also frees an important defense of this pawn. And next I can put my rook here, my queen is already here, and once I take this pawn, I think I am very happy. So now I take the bishop here, he takes back with the queen, and now I simply plays rook e1, because this rook is so strong on this file, and again this rook is threatening my king and queen. So this was a good move, I think. Then he played rook here. Actually here good move was d4 for him, because it opens this line. If I take here, maybe he can just do rook a to c8, and now again he's threatening this. And yeah, but instead he played rook here. Now he wants to double on this line, so I don't want him to double. If I, let's say, move this move, then he can do this, and now again this rook is super strong here. So that's why here I just exchanged one pair of rook, takes, and now rook here. Now basically I'm threatening this pawn, and there is no way he can protect it with the pawn, because this pawn is just two squares away. If this pawn would have been here and now it was his move, then he could have just simply done this, and this pawn will be here forever, and I will probably lose the game. So instead I did this, now he did this, so now he's threatening this pawn. Now I thought I'll just take this pawn, but I don't want to lose this pawn, because it's not about one pawn. After losing this pawn becomes too strong, and still queen is in the game, my king is under threat, and this pawn will be too strong. So that's why first I played this move, because once the queen is exchanged, then I can simply take this pawn again, because there is no way he can do two moves at one time. So he just exchanged. Still he's little bit better, but it's not like I'm completely losing now. Rook here. Now here first I thought let's take this pawn, but then I thought, let's say I take, then he goes here, and there is no way I can protect this pawn, because I can't do this. He can simply take this, and there is no other way my rook can protect this pawn. So that's why instead of taking this pawn here, I thought this pawn is going nowhere. I'll just move my king first, king g3. He attacked this pawn, and now I can play this move f4. And now this pawn is protected. This pawn is protected by my king. This rook is kind of trapped here. And next move I will just take this pawn. He put the king on a better square, because the king is not doing much. These two squares are covered by my pawns, and after a few moves the game will be in the center, and the king must be somewhere in the center. So I just simply took the pawn. Now he gave me a check, thinking that I will probably capture this, then he will take this, and yeah, it will still be a good advantage for him. Not a winning advantage, but still decent. But here I played the best move, rook g4, and now it's around equal. He's not winning, I'm not winning, because this pawn is going nowhere. If you push this pawn, I simply capture this, and all this structure is intact, and his rook is kind of trapped. So I think everything is good. He developed his king on a better square. Now I didn't think it was necessary to play this move, but I don't know why I did it. I simply thought I'll just capture this pawn, but here he had a good amazing move, e5. E5 was like, I think, the only move which allows him to give some chances. Still the game is equal, but he's simply breaking this pawn structure, and my king is too far away here, and if his king comes somewhere close, then it might be really bad in endgame for me. So here I simply have to take, because if I don't take here, let's say, then he can simply, let's say I do this, then that's actually mate. Oh no. Okay, so that was too bad. And even if it wasn't a mate, he can simply, let's say I do this, he can simply do rook f4, rook takes, e takes, and king f4, and it's still like too bad. I have to first go here to take this pawn, and meanwhile this king can run in and somehow attack these pawns, and this pawn is also too strong. So here, yeah, I thought let's just take this pawn, it's best. Takes. Now I have to get rid of this pawn, so I took rook e4 check, back, check, and he exchanged the rook. And now I was like, after one move, let's say he played this, and I played this, and here I was like so shocked that I am losing because he has one move which gives him advantage, the only move which gives him advantage. Can you find the move? It's king e5. Why? Because his king comes into the game. Now if I move my king anywhere, here or here, let's say I move here, then he can just do this, and now I can't go back here, and he will simply take this pawn, and this pawn will be too strong. And even if like he goes somewhere here to attack this pawn, first I have to come here to take this pawn, and meanwhile he will win the game on this side. But to my shock, he didn't find king e5, and he instead did king f7, and I was so relieved in the game. I thought after this move I am no way losing this game, no way. And here I played this move king f4. I didn't think he realized that he missed king e5 till now. He thought he was still better because he has this strong pawns here, and he again put the king on e6. So basically he wasted this move. So first he went there and then he went here, which was not great because it allowed me time to come back in the game. So now I started pushing my pawn because I can't move my king anywhere. So here actually the best move was, as computer is showing, b3, because now he just waits with b6 and I go king e3. I have to move, I have no other choice. I can't push my other pawns now. Let's say if I do b4, then he can simply do d4, and if I take, then he takes, and this pawn is too far away from my king and it's probably queening. So here when he plays b6, there is only one move which saves the game for me, king e3. Then he goes king f5, then I go king d4, then he takes, and both of us are queening at the same time. So let's say king f4, I go b4, because I have to push my pawns to create a queen for myself. Meanwhile I can't stop this pawn, so he just goes g5, I go b takes, he goes b takes first, then he goes this, first I go this. So it's a race, and we both are queening at the same time, and it's still equal. But he will give me checks first, and it will be little bit difficult, but yeah, it's not still losing. So after a5, I instead played b4, and he had to play d4 here. This was the move which gave him advantage, again with the same tactic, that I can't capture this here because this pawn will be too strong here. But he didn't find d4, and he simply captured, and now the game is equal. I capture back, king d6, pawn push. Here I can't push this pawn because then his king can simply come here and attack these pawns, and if I, let's say, try to do this, then he'll simply go d4, and this pawn is too fast, because first here I have to queen, I have to capture this pawn and then push this pawn, but he doesn't have to capture any pawn, and this pawn is just free rolling and will become a queen first. So that's why here, let's say I do queen e3, then he goes like here maybe, and it's still like equal. But in the game he just did, I played first a5 to try to get this pawn and make a queen here. Now this was the losing move for him. This was the move which was really bad because it puts him away to this action that's happening here, because there is nothing happening here, and I'll just push this pawn and I'll make a queen here, and he can't come here because my king is blocking this. So he will realize it soon. When I push this, he has to go back again. He wasted a move because first he went like from here to here and then again to here. Then I just simply push this pawn, takes. So here he has to take this. Why? Because let's say he does this, then I'll simply, I can't take here because then he's doing this. Still it's winning, but it's, instead of like taking here, let's say he goes here, I go here, and there is no way he can protect this square. He can't go here, and if he goes here I'll simply queen. So that's why he has to take here. takes, takes, and now he goes here. I simply just push this pawn to make the king go further away from this pawn. So now you can see the point of this pawn is not to make a queen. The point is to distract the king so that it goes away from the action, and I can go here, capture this pawn, then I can go here, capture this pawn and make this queen. Meanwhile the king is far away from here. So here he pushed the king here. I simply went here because my job is done pushing this pawn, and now I'll simply capture this pawn. He can't come back because I'll simply queen. So here he has to take this. I take this. He tried to come back, but I am just simply too fast. And yeah, after like this, he went here and I pushed my pawn. There is no way he can come here. And let's say whatever he does, it will be game over, and I'll get a new queen, and yeah, it's a game over. He was really playing well in opening and middle game. He was better for most of the game, but in the end game I somehow managed to get through the game. After the game we even talked for some time, and yeah, he was pretty sad that he lost this game because he knew he was having a great chance to win the game. And he was a very cool guy too. He was a retired person, and during his early young ages he started playing chess but left because he had his commitments of jobs and everything else. But after he retired, it's been like 1 year that he has again started playing chess, and he has been frequently playing in Charlotte Chess Center. He lives nearby. And yeah, this was the final game of the day, and it got pretty late, so even he dropped me to my place. So yeah, we did have a few chats, and it was pretty good. But I hope you like this game, and I'll be bringing you more such games from my stay in US, and I hope you enjoy the game and maybe learn from it. So see you guys next time. Goodbye.